3 o'clock in the morning, or was it 4 o'clock in the morning update, that I would continue. I'm like news. I'm like live news. I'm breaking into your regularly scheduled day to give you updates on the llama drama. Drum roll, please. But because I am going away this weekend and I don't want to save all this content, that is in fact what I'm doing. I'm breaking in with live reports. So hopefully you watched the update earlier today and you heard the latest. There's been more. There's been more. The LNC list now again is like, get your popcorn out, get the butter out. If you like tea, drink your tea. If you're like me, drink your dew. But yeah, wowzer. Okay, so let's just go through the last few emails because, it's going to be little short updates like this. I'm getting ready to go out and see the vampires to donate some plasma because that's how mama makes some money right now. Just keep paying bills because remember, all super chats matter, and every super chat done on this channel, unless I say otherwise, which is usually when I have a guest, go to support my re-election campaign. When I have a guest, a lot of times if it's an LNC candidate, we split. But come next Wednesday, when the Sober Caucus will be on, all super chats will go towards their cause. Addiction has impacted my family members in such a big way that I completely believe in their cause. That show will not be a split, though I will recommend when the Sober Caucus is on that you give directly in their link because YouTube does take a cut of super chats. Like, I don't mind for me, but for them, I would like them to get everything they possibly can. But I understand the excitement of super chats, and some super chats encourage more, and I like putting you on the screen and all of that fun stuff. So let's go over the most current emails on the LNC list. The last one we did was the very good email from Eric Rodsup, but right now we're going to show Joshua Smith lighten him up. Lighten him up. Of course, no sexism here. No sexism here if I said something like that. Now, I'm not begrudging Joshua's right. Go ahead, Joshua. So my criticism isn't of Joshua. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for what Joshua is doing. I'm just pointing out the cowardly soft sexism of the rest of this LNC because they removed me for far less on my personal page. Okay? I never said things like this on the LNC list, and I'm not begrudging them because they're a bunch of corrupt bastards. And when you're a corrupt bastard, decorum goes out the window. But even me still, I saved it for my personal page. But these hypocritical cowards, but I'm here for it, Joshua, because I know you don't give a fudge. I'm here for it. You're lighting them on fire. You're telling them exactly what they are. But these cowards won't do a damn thing. And they shouldn't, because the only thing they should do is resign. But anyway, let's show Joshua lighting them on fire. So I share my screen. I figured this out this morning. Right here. Here we go. So here's Joshua. Because he's explaining to them what this motion is. Because Richard's playing stupid. Now, for those of you who don't know, Richard used to live in Colorado. I know Richard really well. I used to consider Richard one of my best friends, which is why really it was so emotionally traumatic what happened to me, because I was stabbed in the back by one of my best friends. It turns out he had been stabbing me in the back for like a year and a half prior to that, behind my back, unbeknownst to me, which actually made it easier for me to deal with what he did. When I found out, it wasn't anything new, but then that was a different kind of trauma to realize for a year and a half where I thought I was friends with this dude, he was just a backstabber. Any of you who think you are friends with Richard Longstreth, just remember me. I thought I was too. And if you go, yeah, but you provoked what happened, whatever, in September, think that all you want. He had been plotting against me way before that, while he was to my face and to my ass. Just remember that about that gentleman. He's not your friend. You may think he is. I thought he was too. So did my husband. And yeah, he is the type of guy, now that we're talking about soft sexism, that sent a private message to my husband to get me under control. Like, wowzer. I just can't even. No, he didn't word it exactly that way, but that's what it was. Couldn't deal with me. Better get the husband in there to keep the little woman under control there. Are you texting Joshua Smith's wife now, Richard? You wouldn't like it if I texted your husband, and I'd never in a million years do that. Never. And I'm not mentioning, because his husband's not a public figure. I'm not mentioning his name. I was friends with your husband. You know, your excuse was you were friends with Wayne. Well, I'm friends with your husband, or I was. But I would never, ever think to text him to say, get you under control. Anyway, so here's Joshua explaining to the children what this motion does. Hey, Massachusetts, we see you and recognize the outcome/results of your legally held convention. Good luck and see you in Reno. Really, that is all this motion does. Forget all of the dramatics, okay? That is what we are trying to do here. Anyone whining and stomping their feet about it as some kind of quote unquote autonomy issue is just mad that Llama couldn't get rid of the bad Nazi men and women and minorities and Charlie that haunt you in your dreams. Boo. I love it. I love the boo. Imagine being on this board and then doing absolutely nothing when our membership who followed the rules asked us to act on their behalf, which we were elected to do. Bingo. And bingo was his name-o. You should be ashamed of yourselves. That would take some self-reflection, integrity, and backbone. And again, I'm going to give the disclaimer, we're not talking about the entire LNC. There were 5 brave people who co-sponsored this motion. They are Rich Bowen, and we're going to put 6, because even though, Pat Ford, we're going to talk about individually. He wasn't allowed to co-sponsor because he's an alternate. So let's just talk about the 5 primaries, the 5 brave primaries. And there's someone on this list I don't like, but they did the right thing here. And that's Susan Hogarth. So let's mention her first. Susan Hogarth, Rich Bowen, Stephen Nikala, Joshua Smith, and Eric Rodsep. They are exempt from these criticisms. And Pat Ford as well, but he's an alternate. So you should be ashamed of yourselves, but that would take self-reflection and not being hypocrite, so I won't hold my breath. Either way, it's only 2 more months from this coming weekend, and this embarrassing nightmare is over for good. And yes, Ryan Brown, Susan was, as far as her position on the issues, she hasn't always been good on Massachusetts, though, Ryan, let's be fair. But she's good now when it counts. I don't care what she did in the past now about Massachusetts. She's good now where it counts. And she was always good on Delaware. She didn't argue Delaware well, but that's not her fault. Not everyone is the best debater on the planet. Debate is a certain skill. Some people have it, some people don't. She doesn't. That's not a character flaw. Everyone has their particular skills, like being subtle isn't one of my skills. You know what I mean, baby doll? Okay. So, but Susan has been great. She was always on Delaware, and now she's being very good on Massachusetts. So credit where credit is due. I have never failed to give credit where credit is due. That doesn't absolve her of removing a duly elected secretary. But listen, nobody is all bad or all good. Well, I used to believe that nobody was all bad or all good, but I've seen some people lately that are all bad. And I'm not even really talking necessarily about LNC members, though when it comes to chairing the national committee so far, Whitney has been all bad. I don't have one good thing to say about her chairing, and I've been looking for one good thing to say about her chairing. Most people are a mixture. As I like to say, there are no angels or devils. So then here's Pat Ford. Pat Ford. Oh, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong again. Massachusetts, I'm going to pronounce this county wrong again. Please forgive me, for I have sinned, okay? Pat Ford, I stand in complete support of this motion. I was in attendance at the special convention in Worcester? Is that what it is? No, Worcester. Worcester, right? Worcester. Like book. Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester. Well, I don't know. It's better than Worcester, which I said the first time. In Worcester, Massachusetts. As I was in virtual attendance in Vermont, I recently participated in petitioning in sub-zero temperatures in Maine. Thank you, Pat. Working alongside LP members from Maine. Oh, I need to make this a little smaller. I can't see it. She's never said that. I need to see the whole thing here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right. Working alongside LP members from Maine, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island, I had the pleasure of speaking at the New Jersey Libertarian Convention. The enthusiasm, the engagement, the activism I am seeing sweep Region 8 is unlike anything I've seen in my 10 years in the party. Absolutely. Same thing at every single convention I've been to. The enthusiasm. Now, I haven't been in the party 10 years. I've been in the party 7 years. But I've seen nothing like it. I've seen nothing like it. And haters, be mad all you want. Haters, get out your haterade. But this is because of the Mises Caucus. The energy that I am seeing. You can deny reality for only so long. Meanwhile, there are forces at work that are routinely engaging in the usurpation of membership rights in states like Delaware, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts, using some I know the word, farcical. Farcical? I'm as bad as that is with Worcester. Farcical. We're just going to leave it at that. A projection of virtue. Oh my God. And that is like so, that's like that phrase right there. Some farcical projection of virtue. Man, Pat, that is a great turn of phrase. Hello, Charles. In rationalizing their egregious behavior. I prefer the word contumacious behavior. Egregious and contumacious. And remember, everyone, all super chats matter. I need to be the whore. I've got a whore for my campaign right now. Justin, Pat says a lot of based things. He really does. At the same time, their enablers would deny the board of a national political organization. And I love that he called them enablers, because that's the kind of bullshit that gets thrown at me, because the haterade haters, they know they can't pin any of the stupid labels on me, you know, the rhymes with Yahtzee label or anything on that on me. I'm trying not to get demonetized here. You know, they'll just call me a Yahtzee enabler, which is pretty freaking ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. Yeah. I didn't realize that the Yahtzees were recruiting pink-haired bisexuals now. They've gotten a lot cooler, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Pink-haired bisexuals were all for the legalization of drugs. Yeah, that sounds like Yahtzees to me. At the same time, okay, yeah, their enablers would enable the board of a national political organization the right to simply weigh in with their opinion, their recognition of individuals who would lead their very own affiliates. Yeah, the Yahtzees have become very accepting. The very purpose of a national board is to provide a moral and operational compass to the entirety of its organization. If the National Committee continues to deny the existence of a presence that would deny the rights of members who fail to fall in line with the designs of their failing leadership, then one must logically question why the LNC even exists. Bang! If I had a mic, I'd drop it. If I had a mic I didn't care about, I'd drop it, because I do have a mic. But I don't have one I don't care about. I'd go, booyah! Do I have a shitty mic around here I can drop? Damn it. I need to break one of my mics so I can have one just to just start throwing around. I'm gonna get on Amazon and just find some shitty mic I could. I'm gonna go to Goodwill today. Find some shitty mic I can just start throwing around. Yeah, I am all hopped up on caffeine. Let's take some more of the drug of my choice. So that's what's going on. So, oh no, there's more going on. There is more. And yet, there's more. Order now. But wait, there's more. What do you get if you order today, Bob? You get it earlier than if you order it tomorrow. Okay, so let's go back to my inbox. Hopefully, there's no porn in here. There is ah good thing there was no porn in my inbox. Okay, so LNC business, NJLP resolution regarding Massachusetts. Way to go, New Jersey. Dan Krause, you're the man. Rich Bowen's the man too. I'm sure there's lots of whatever, I'm very fond of the chair of New Jersey. We had some very cordial discussions. I've got a lot of friends in New Jersey. There's a whole story behind my fangirling of New Jersey, which a lot of people don't know about. New Jersey's always been very good to me, even though I've never been there. Because how many years ago was this now? 2018? 2018. I was competing to be on the National Platform Committee. And Aaron Starr and I were both competing for an LNC appointment. And Patrick McKnight, who was the chair of New Jersey at the time, was also on the LNC, and he was the Region 8 representative. And Aaron and I kept getting tied, and I think it was like 7 rounds of voting. It might have only been 6. It was between 6 and 8 rounds of voting, and it just kept being a tie between Aaron and myself with a few other people. And guess who our illustrious chair at the time, Nick Sarwark, kept voting for? Adam Bates. Adam, Karen Ann, you should divorce your husband because he's not open borders Bates. Yeah, that guy. Anyway, it's all public record. You could go look at the minutes. So we kept getting tied. So Aaron and I eventually agreed that we would decide it by the flip of a quarter. And Patrick McKnight agreed to be the quarter flipper. And when he pulled it out, he goes, "Oh, it's a New Jersey quarter. Great." And when it was up in the air, Aaron, like a gentleman, agreed that I can call it. And I called New Jersey. And I won on New Jersey. And thus began the why I fangirl New Jersey and why I've always just been so fond of New Jersey. Gave me my first platform committee seat with the flip of a New Jersey quarter. Yeah, I re-traumatized you, didn't I, Justin? Yeah, and so Nick Sarwark thought that guy should be on the platform committee. And by the way, that guy applied again last time, and Valerie Sarwark voted for him, if I remember correctly. I'll go back and look at the minutes, but I'm pretty sure I remember correctly. But if I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but I don't think I am. So anyway, let's look at this New Jersey resolution now that you know why I fangirl New Jersey. Even though I've never been there, I want to go. I really wished I could have gone to their convention this year. It's one state I've never been to. On March 23rd, 2022, through his capacity as LNC Region 8 representative, Rich Bowen introduced a resolution to recognize the Libertarian Association of Massachusetts, LAMA, state committee that was duly elected during a special convention on February 26, 2022. The NJ State Board urges the Libertarian National Committee to pass Mr. Bowen's resolution. And thank you, CJ, for the super chat. Super appreciated. And as CJ says, for those who aren't watching, I like the restream because it shows everyone's chats on screen. It says, I wish the LNC would address the fact that Libertarian Party candidates are often targeted by the state for assassination, especially if you are a military veteran. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. The evils of the state, Libertarians understand. Libertarians should understand that. Southern Northeast, I do want to come back to PorcFest. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard because I'm back in a non-employed situation. I was employed for a while. For those of you who don't know, I tried doing personal injury. We parted ways amicably because I just hated it. At this point in my life, I'm not going to be somewhere I'm miserable because it's just not good. And it wasn't good for them because they could tell I didn't like it. It wasn't working out. They agreed to pay for my health insurance for another month. I got getting all my procedures done this month. So like it was a very amicable parting. And because of all the travel that I'm doing, I don't I I'm going to be looking like if the ideal job comes up, but I'm not going to be like hitting the ground like pounding the pavement looking until after Reno because you go looking for a job and they're like, great, we'll hire you, and they're like, oh, but I need a week off in May. That makes it kind of rough. So I would love to go, that, and if it's at all possible, it will happen. But right now, honestly, it doesn't look possible. But if it's at all possible, I freaking love me some Pork Fest. That. And I'd be a speaker again in a heartbeat. I'd volunteer in any way, in a heartbeat. So let's continue now with this New Jersey resolution. So what I'm hearing is I can recruit you to move to New Hampshire. Listen, I would move to New Hampshire. My husband doesn't want to move to New Hampshire. And I know some people have said, adopt New Hampshire and ditch the husband. Now I'm going to keep the husband. There's several reasons why Wayne doesn't want to move to New Hampshire, though I'm working on it. He also at one time told me I couldn't dye my hair pink. So just let that sink in. Then he made an ill-advised drunken bet. And that's how I ended up with pink hair. So, what the heck was I? Oh, so the New Hampshire thing. He has a real estate business here that he's built for 30 years. And if you know anything about, being self-employed and having your own business, we're in the later stages of our lives to just pick up and move and restart. I can work anywhere. I'm a paralegal. There's paralegal work anywhere. I can work anywhere. It's not as easy for him. He's got a book of business and it took him 30 years to build it. And, that's just, unless we win the lotto or something, then all bets are off. And I know lotto is for dumb people who can't do math. I must be a dumb person who can't do math because when I have money, I play. I haven't played in a long time because I haven't had money. But the second thing is, even though, yes, it's cold here in Colorado, it can get cold, it ain't nothing like the East Coast cold. Ain't nothing like the East Coast wet, heavy snow cold. Colorado cold, I mean, this is considered actually semi-arid. It's considered desert here. So it's different. And he doesn't like the Northeast cold. I come from Florida. I'm used to humidity. I'm used to wet. I was born in Connecticut. I love it in New Hampshire. I love the cold. I like that there's beach and mountains, but just right now, but who knows? Life circumstances could change. You just never know. We are actually, the cost of living is going up really, really high right now in Colorado. And Colorado is turning so progressive that moving actually isn't entirely out of the question, though. So far, New Hampshire has been out of the question for a lot of reasons. We're actually considering moving to Wyoming because Wyoming's still right on the border of Colorado. Weld County, he could still be doing his Colorado book of business in Weld County. So, and I know the name of that county. It triggers me too. So we've we're considering Wyoming right now. And there's no state income tax in Wyoming. I know there isn't in New Hampshire either. But here's what's also awesome in Wyoming. If I remember correctly, you can practice law without a license in Wyoming. I've been a paralegal for 25 years now. I know more than most attorneys in the areas that I know. I mean, I know what I don't know, but what I know, I know. All right, continuing. Luckily, two principled. Oh, no, we're on the second paragraph. Llama members submitted a petition for a special convention on December 21st after the petition received enough signatures to do so. The right to petition for a special convention is allotted to Llama membership in the Llama Constitution. On January 10th, following the special convention, That is not correct. That sentence is not correct. They didn't have their special convention yet. So there's a factual inaccuracy here, but it doesn't affect the resolution. On January 10th, following the special convention, the Llama State Committee held a private meeting and voted to kick out the members who rightfully signed the petition. It's worse than that. The state committee kicked them out before the special convention. They kicked them out merely for signing the petition. The special convention was in February, not in January. It was actually held in two parts, and both parts were in February. So that January thing, that is when they were kicked out, but they didn't even have the special convention yet. They were still trying to get the state committee to call the special convention as required by the Constitution. Members were not made aware that a vote to expel them would occur, disallowing them the right to defend themselves. Yeah, it was held in secret without notice. Not only is this immoral and authoritarian, well, this is the LNC you're talking to. They master an immoral and authoritarian. But it also violates Article 4, Section 10 of the Llama Constitution. This provision only allows the state committee to vote to expel members after affording the accused reasonable access to due process. This is also factually inaccurate slightly. Where they're quoting has to do with state committee members, but 2 of the 47 expelled people were state committee members who were not afforded reasonable access to due process. Libertarian principles require reasonable access to due process. Your governing documents do not need to say that. But that quote only applies to 2 of the 47. But there is a different provision that they violated, which is I can't give you the chapter and verse, but that they are allowed with members to vote to expel a member, meaning there had to be 45 separate motions, because each person has the individual right to defend themselves and have individual accusations brought against them. You can't do this bulk expulsion that they did simply for either being in the Mises Caucus or friendly to the Mises Caucus. Chris Crawford admitted that's why they were expelled. That is so disgusting. Luckily, 2 principled members of the Llama State Committee organized a special convention the following month. Correct. The 2 members of the state committee that were kicked out for signing the petition, they signed a petition for their own recall election because they weren't scared of the membership the way everyone else was. And the members elected a new state committee. The LNC must not allow for rogue leadership to kick out their opposition unbeknownst to them, and must consider the precedent this sets for other affiliates. By failing to recognize the Llama State Committee that was elected via special convention, the Libertarian National Committee will only legitimize future authoritarian actions taken against the membership's will. So there are some slight inaccuracies in here, but none of them affect the underlying facts. In fact, the underlying facts are worse than what is represented here, and this is bad enough. All right, let's stop sharing my screen so that if any porn emails come through, you guys don't get to enjoy them. I'm joking. I don't get porn emails. That's just an ongoing joke. Now, Jim Turney is officially COC chair. Jeff Hewitt just voted, so that closes out that ballot. But we knew that, and Jim Turney he'll be a great convention oversight committee chair. All right, that's it. I need to go to the vampires and have them suck out some of my plasma, so I can pay for my back procedures next week. I'm going. If you guys remember, there were a couple of days a few weeks ago where I had a very bad reaction to the anesthesia. But they adjusted it, so the second procedure I had wasn't quite so bad, but it still knocked me out all day. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, I have to have if there's a total of 4 procedures, I have to have the following 2. So you will not see hide nor hair of me on Monday or Tuesday. But in order to afford the co-payment for those, I've got to go let them suck some plasma out of me today. Yeah, mama's selling body fluids in order to pay for medical procedures, but you can't say I don't hustle. I hustle. All right, everyone. And speaking of hustling, let me see if I did this right. Right here. Yeah, I did it right. Yes. Please give to my LNC secretary campaign. There's the GoFundMe. I really wasn't trying to grift here. It's just that I messed with this morning trying to figure out this program, and I did it. I did it, proving I am not a boomer. I'm almost a boomer, but I was born in 67. I missed it by 2 years. So I'm Gen X. And here's the other one I did. Yay! And actually, I do need to whore for my Patreon. I did have a patron yesterday who unfortunately needed to reduce their support amount due to financial circumstances. Listen, I've seen the price of gas. I know. That's why I don't leave the house. Not that I really like left the house much before, but even now, sweating it to go to see the vampires, I'm like, do I have enough gas? Like, and you know, gas is worth more than jewelry right now. So, um, I'm finding myself at a $15 a month shortfall. It's not just so if you had been thinking of becoming a patron, we have membership levels from $1 on up. And you do then get access to the book discussions that I do that people seem to enjoy and my private Discord server. So I truly appreciate it. There's the link, patreon.com/pink flame of liberty. Let's hide that. All right. There'll probably be an update from the field later today. Your intrepid Massachusetts llama drama reporter is signing off. Mi guapas